All right, welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Let's talk a little basketball at the, you turn around the right way here, the end of July, beginning of August. Let's talk basketball. A lot of the podcasts on YouTube, which I like to follow, the college basketball talking heads have came in and talked about, what Kentucky's going to be ranked. And you can watch the Field of 68. That's probably the best one. Jeff Goodman, Rob Doster. Of course, we all know Jeff Goodman. Enemy of Cal back in the day, but he actually turned out to probably be pretty much honest in his assessment of Cal, to be honest with you. There's Sleepers Media, then you can get to the SEC one, Southeastern 16s doing some college basketball already. So people are looking for things to do till we get to football. But you know what? Let's talk about basketball. Now, Field of 68 has Houston graded as A++, the highest grade. They gave Michigan and Purdue A+, and they gave us an A-. Now, there's a specific reason why they gave us an A-, and it was honest, so we're going to get to it. But we are picked anywhere from 5 to 10th if you look at all the polls. I don't know what will be once the preseason polls come out, but yeah. Now, nobody spent more money than we have, supposedly, so we'll see how that goes. They talked about how important it was. They were watching some of our practices and stuff, and they were impressed with the returning players, Owe, Garrison, Noah, and Chandler. Of course, they're going to be the most important players on the team because they've been there here already. I agree with that. They talked about, they joked about our basketball collective. They were asking each other, did you give money to them? Did you give money to them? Because everybody's talking about how much money. Supposedly, we spent the most money in the SEC and the most money in the country. I don't know if that's true, but obviously we were one of the SEC. I know we spent the most money in the country. I don't know. My cat is knocking stuff over. Hey, bud, we're trying to tape here. They said last year was very important for Mark Pope to get momentum going in the program when he first got there because, he was not our first choice. Scott Drew from Baylor, we were trying to get in some other people, so it was important for him to get off to a good start, which he did by beating Duke, and he had a good season, so that was important. And then they said, why was it important? Because it led to more NIL money to get better players and upgrade our roster, which we have. So yes, that was good. They said we have the deepest roster in the country, and these guys would know because these guys know everybody's roster. Especially on the perimeter. And then they talked about Trent Noah, how much they liked him, but they don't know how much time he's going to see on the court. Well, if you've been watching KSR, just put up an article about Trent Noah, how well he's been shooting in the summer. So, yeah, he's probably going to see the court a little more than they think, and I think he will. Even though he's not more athletic than Cam Williams and some other people we brought in, he's just a good player. So he's a basketball player, not an athlete, okay? But he's good. They talked about Cam Williams. We got him from Tulane. They said he was one of the best pure shooters in the portal, and we were smart to pick him up. We said we have 7 guys on the perimeter who can shoot the ball. And how do you get all those 7 guys playing time? Well, look, as they pointed out, it's a good problem to have. And Mark Pope plays 10, 12 guys anyway. So he's going to do that anyway. So everybody will get playing time. And, of course, yeah, the key will be to keep everybody happy. And I think everybody that came here probably knows up front how many minutes you're going to play. So, yeah, they talked about, we're preseason 5 to 8. They're picking us 5 to 8. I think Goodman said 5 and Doster said 8, but, whatever. Somewhere in there. Doesn't matter. Now, what's concerns for us last year? They said most teams that win the national championship are adjusted offense top 15 and adjusted defense top 30. So, yeah, we want to be top 15 in offense and in the top 30 in defense. That's the key. If you look back at the stats of the last 30 years, there's only been one team, I think, that wasn't top 30 defense, top 15 offense. That's a stat they threw out there. And they talk about that on Matt Jones. Them talk about that also. Now, why did we get an A-? What is our one Achilles heel right now? They said shooting, 3-point shooting. Our best 3 shooters are Noah, Chandler, and Williams, and none of the 3 of them will probably start. However, they're going to have one of them on the floor. I agree with what they said. To space the floor, we need one of them out there. because we don't know how well Jalen Lowe can shoot. Oweh's not a knockdown shooter. He's more of a driver. So, I agree with that, what they said there. Where are we going to get our three-point shooting from? I think Jalen Lowe will shoot better than he did at Pitt. If you look at Pitt, he was trying to do everything for them. They were behind. He was just jacking it up sometimes. So I think he's better than a 28% or 25 or whatever he is. He's in the 20s. I think he's better than that. So I think he'll do better. But yeah, shooting is our main concern, three-point shooting. So yeah, they talked about Mark Pope, won't be able to run the BYU offense where everybody's jacking up threes. I agree with that. And why would you do that when you don't have to? What else did they talk about? Yes, one of them will play. They talked about Aberdeen from Florida can play the point guard if three-point shooting is needed. In other words, if Jalen Lowe is such a really bad shooter, we can always bring Aberdeen off the bench because that's what he did at Florida. He came off the bench. He was a sixth man. Obviously, he can do that here. And right now, he's a little better shooter than Lowe. So yeah, they said if need be, Aberdeen can come in and sub for Lowe if we need three-point shooting. But I don't think that's going to happen. Somebody's got to be the backup point guard. So yeah, it probably will be him. Let's see what else. We must fit the players to tailor the offensive system. Yes. Or must tailor, the pieces to fit the offensive system. That's what I meant to say. Players, pieces. So yeah, that's the challenge for Mark Pope right now is we got so many good players. We got 13 really good players. Who plays when, who plays in what rotation. Starting out the year, we're going to talk about that. That's going to be an issue. But once again, good issue to have. Can't complain about that. Jalen Lowe must get better looks to improve his three-point shooting. Mark Pope talks about this as soon as they signed him. The day they signed him and they had the press conference, Mark Pope said, we're going to get him in better shot selection and in better positions to shoot threes. And I agree. It won't be like at Pitt, okay? He'll drive to the basket, but it's not going to be where he's just jacking it up. That's not going to happen. I would hope not. So they said it might be a slow start, Kentucky fans, and I agree with this. We play Champions Classic, we play Louisville, we play all these people early. I don't expect us to start, we might not start out of the gate just beating everybody because they said we had to figure out our rotations, who's going to play where and when, and I agree with that. Yes, where's the shooting going to come from, the shooting, the scoring, who's going to be on the floor with whom. So, yeah, we might get off to a slow start, but look, we're playing for March, okay? So, if we have to take a couple losses early, okay, fine. I hope we don't lose to Louisville, but not that one. But we'll see. He has a lot of options. They're confident that Mark Pope can figure it out. And I am too, guys. Mark Pope knows what he's doing. He uses analytics so much, guys. He's an analytics nerd, and they're crunching numbers, and they got the computers like it's NASA or something fired up. They're going to figure out who does better on the floor when off a ball screen, who does better at three-point shooting when this happens, when that happens, when we're in that set. So yeah, he'll know what to do. Then they both talked about who's your X factor player for Kentucky. Doster said Jaden Quaidens. Of course, he's the guy from Arizona State. That's really big dude. He blew out his Achilles. He's coming. Or excuse me, no, his ACL. He blew out his knee, and he's coming back. When will he be 100%? And don't rush him back is what Doster said, and I agree. Don't rush him back. No reason to. But yeah, Quaidens is, look, this dude is a man-child. He's a big dude. If you watched him at Arizona State, man, he's an athlete, okay? And he does not miss under the basket. He will dunk the ball on your ass. He will, he has post moves. So it's not like last year when Amari Williams and people would get the ball and they just throw it up in the basket. No, this kid's really, really good. So he might not be back to December, January. Hey, don't rush the guy back. And once again, I'm not trying to be John Calipari here, but we're playing for April, right? We're trying to win number 9. Goodman said Jalen Lowe is the X factor. Can he play discipline? And of course, he answers on question. He can, yes. And can he play within the system? Because, yeah, at Pitt, he was just doing his own thing. it was playground because they were behind and they weren't that good. It's not going to be that way here, guys. So don't worry about Jalen Lowe. If you looked at, I was watching some of the summer practice videos of him running, with the team, and he wasn't playing out of control. He was not playing like he was when he was at Pitt. So I wouldn't worry about him. Then they said the person nobody's mentioning, and I agree, is Otega Owe. He might be the SEC preseason player of the year. I mean, he definitely is one of the top 2 or 3 players, and he's not a 3-point shooter, and they talked about that. He needs to be what he is, a downhill player and a dog, and I agree. Just be what you were last year. Just get to the basket. I mean, man, when he hit those 2 game-winning shots on Oklahoma twice, once in Nashville and once at Oklahoma. I mean, there's the one in Nashville. I think it was the one in Nashville. There's 3 guys on him. They just followed him down the court. They still couldn't stop him. That's what we need him to do. I don't think he's going to stand out there and jack up threes. I certainly hope not. I'm not saying he can't hit them, but streaky shooter. Now, what did they say? What are the expectations for Kentucky basketball? Well, I guess that's up to you guys. Obviously, they said a deep run in the tournament, which means Elite 8, Final Four, or national title. Yeah, I think Final Four, guys. And they brought up the point that, hey, we have we paid for the, supposedly the most expensive roster. Better make it to a Final 8 or a Final Four. I agree. Yeah, you don't make it to the Final 8 or the Final Four, that's going to be a disappointing season. I think we can do it, guys. There's Purdue and people like Michigan. Get out of here. Purdue's ranked number 1. Man, get out of here. We're going to scrimmage them. They got one guy. I can't think of the damn guy's name who's all world. Just double team his ass. I mean, come on. Purdue, stop it. Then they said we are one of 8 or 9 teams that could win the title. Yeah, if you look in Vegas, I mean, there's the first 6, 7, 8 teams. Florida and Kentucky are the 2 SEC teams. And then it's Houston, Purdue, the usual. I forgot who else. I'm not betting anything on FanDuel. But yeah, the fans want number 9. Yeah, of course, obviously. We want number 9 every year. So yeah, but we want number 9 this year. So what did they say? Goodman gave us an A minus. Dostra gave us an A, but yeah, Goodman gave us an A minus because we have the number 1 payroll, but we do not have the best roster. I don't know about that. I mean, look, we don't have knockdown 3-point shooters, no Jeff Shepherds, Yeah, that's the one thing we are missing. So, I mean, look, that's his opinion, and he is being honest with his opinion. But hey, the best roster, we don't need the best roster. We need the best team. So that's what we need. And then that was it, guys. And they're basically echoing what everybody else is saying. Okay, we're not in the top 5 for most people. Some people have Florida ahead of us in SEC. Somebody had we were 3rd in SEC in a couple of I looked at it like, okay, I don't know about 3rd, but look, it doesn't matter. It's just talk, just like in football. It's just talk. So we're going to start early before the end of October, and of course we're going to start playing games. Louisville we play on, I think, on November 11th. So yeah, basketball's starting a little bit earlier this year, but that's all right. Okay, so if this is your first time watching the channel, guys, and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I know it's a football channel, but it's 50-50 basketball. Okay, so we are going to obviously cover basketball. So yeah, I'm trying to get to 500. I'm not going to make 500 subscribers before the first football game, but that's okay. I am going to maybe attempt a live on Friday, August the 1st. I can't send out notifications because if you don't have 500 subscribers, they limit what you can do, but I can get around that, and I'll probably just send something out in a message to you guys on the board, on the whenever we put out announcements on the board there that, hey, I'm going to go live at 8 p.m. Central Time. And if you want to jump on there, hey, jump on there, man. We'll talk football. We'll talk basketball, whatever you want to talk Kentucky, we'll talk it. Once again, guys, thanks for watching.